What's up, lords and ladies? Welcome back to another video on this channel. So in today's video, I decided to make a video on male bearded dragons. So the goal behind this video is to showcase and highlight the male bearded dragon and give you guys some pointers and tips on what's the difference and how to care for them in particular, because male and female bearded dragons, they are very similar, but they're also very different, especially when it comes to their care. Some little things that you might need to do. So I do want to highlight the male bearded dragon in today's video. Now I am going to be posting a video about just female bearded dragons and talk about them and give you guys some tips. And if you guys have any problems when it comes to bearded dragons and whether you own a male bearded dragon or a female bearded dragon, let me know in the comment section down below. That way in that video I could possibly include it. But I do want to highlight the male bearded dragon because I do feel like majority of reptile keepers who own bearded dragons, they own boys. And it's not a problem when it comes to owning them, but they do require some little tiny things that I am gonna highlight in this video. So with that being said, let's just get started with this video. Let's go. But before we go, oh man, lately I've been making videos in my washroom. I'm not gonna lie, I like the lighting. I like what it's doing to my face and everything. I see my reflection. Whew, but you already know what time it is. We gotta zoom in. Whew, baby. Oh man. Yes. Man, you know, these zoom-ins, it started off, you know, these zoom-ins are meant to just, you know, self-appreciate yourself, to self-love. At the end of the day, it's all about respect. It's all about, oh, is that a fly? Oh my God. Why is there a random fly? Okay, I completely got sidetracked there because there was a giant fly just kind of coming towards me. I don't know why it's in the washroom. Maybe it's because the window is slightly open, but let's just get started with this video and not get sidetracked. Let's go. Okay, so right in front of me, we got my two boys. Now you might be right now wondering, like, what is this guy doing? Like, is this guy crazy? He just put two male bearded dragons in the same room. Oh my God, there's gonna be a fight. Oh my God, what is going on? Okay, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the day when you put two male bearded dragons together. However, it's not recommended because male bearded dragons tend to be more dominant. So right now, I completely understand Saturn's behavior as well as Pokala's behavior. And that's because they were raised together and they basically know each other. They're not ever violent towards each other. However, I would not place them in the same enclosure. But when it comes to making videos like this, they really just don't do anything towards each other. And the way I could tell is that their black beards don't go black. They're not head bobbing the minute I basically put them. You know, they might not be completely, you know, happy that I'm putting them in this video because I normally don't talk to them in this kind of way or interact with them in this kind of way. I'm usually just feeding them, you know, they're not in videos as much, but I do like showcasing them because they are very docile to each other. And that's one thing that I always hear is that male bearded dragons, you know, the minute you put them together, they're just gonna go crazy. And that's the one thing that I wanted to highlight here is that each bearded dragon has a different personality. You're gonna have a different experience with each and every bearded dragon. And as a keeper, it's very important to understand your bearded dragon's behavior, to understand when your bearded dragon is stressed out, is happy, you know, doesn't want anything to do with you. Like this one over here is just looking at me like, why are you touching me? But right now, I understand their vibes. They are completely chill. They're not even doing anything to each other. So I'm very confident that, you know, Saturn and Pokala get along. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna take my eyes off and let them just be alone together. Because at the end of the day, male bearded dragons will show dominance. Even female bearded dragons will as well. So it's very important that you always, you know, understand your bearded dragon's behavior. Now, when it comes to understanding a male bearded dragon's behavior, there's certain things that you do need to watch out for. they do turn their beards black and head bob when they are basically in the presence of another bearded dragon. But as you can see, right now I have the male bearded dragons together. They're not head bobbing, they're not doing anything towards each other. I could even place, Saturn as close as I possibly can right next to Pocola, and they basically just chill. Now, even though you see me doing this, I highly recommend that none of you guys watching this do this unless like you 100% understand their behaviors. I've owned Pocola and Saturn since they were babies for a really long time, and I've not once seen them act aggressive towards each other, even though they're not housed together from time to time, because I do like taking them out. I've noticed that when I do, they actually don't even do anything towards each other. But if I put another bearded dragon here, let's say I put BB, I don't know if it's because they know that it's a female, they'll basically go crazy for her. But towards each other, they're just chill. And you could kind of see this in the animal kingdom, when two lions are, brothers and they just chill with each other. So these guys, they really bonded as a young age, and they kind of carried it over into adulthood, where they basically could just chill and not be aggressive towards each other. Now, when it comes to feeding a male bearded dragon, as you can see, they're kind of just chilling. I've noticed that males tend to eat a little bit less. Now, this could just be my male bearded dragons. I've talked to other people to ask the very similar question, but I have noticed that they can be a little bit more pickier when it comes to food. Some of them might just only eat super worms. They might only just eat crickets. They might not even want to eat veggies. I've noticed that they're a little bit more pickier. I don't really know the cause of it, but I've noticed that my males, these two boys, are very picky when it comes to eating. My female bearded dragons will eat anything, and that's why I do feeding videos with them, because they literally they're the best eaters. They just like to eat. And I don't know if it's because female bearded dragons are always hungry because they're developing eggs, or if, it's just, I don't know. I honestly can't pinpoint why they basically eat a lot. They're just little pigs. Now, with that being said, you still need to give your bearded dragon a proper diet. Even if it doesn't want to eat its veggies, still provide it with veggies every single day, because there's gonna be that day where your bearded dragon just surprises you and eats all the veggies. That's how I got most of my bearded dragons to eat. I've not given up on the picky eaters. I've kind of just kept offering them, and they finally ate some nutritious food. So I do notice a difference between male bearded dragons and female bearded dragons when it comes to feeding, but anything else, their structure is very similar. The one thing that I do notice is that male bearded dragons have more of a sturdier built to them. They also have a bigger head for some reason. I don't know, like it could just be my bearded dragons, but I've noticed that my bearded dragons' heads, the males have like a more triangle look to them, a more stockier head. So you can see the face is more pointy. It could also be genetics as well, but even this boy over here has a more pointier face, a more stockier face. He also has a nice thick build to himself. Now, this is just for educational purposes only. Do not try this at home. I decided to bring out Wilbur, another male bearded dragon, into the picture so you could kind of more or less see what a male bearded dragon who's crazy more or less looks like. Wilbur, at the end of the day, he tries to act like the more dominant bearded dragon by basically displaying his beard, head bobbing. And even though, right now he's acting pretty calm, as you can see, he's just going into the head bobbing mode. Okay, come here. And these two want nothing to do with him. As you can see, they are just kind of like in shock. They're like, what is going on? But you never want to take out more than one male out. Even though I do trust these guys, I'm keeping a very close eye on them, that they are not, acting any way suspicious. Now he started head bobbing, but that's more of a notice. Like, I noticed that you're there, head bob. It's not like a Wilbur head bob where he's trying to like attack. So that's just some behaviors that I've noticed when it comes to bearded dragons, is that yes, you can, you know, keep males together without having them going crazy. But then you have this one over here. He's just a nutball. And it's not that he's more dominant. Like, Polka could take him, right? Even though I don't want them to fight. Polka could honestly take this guy. It's just that he's more of a crazy one. He's honestly just a crazy one who can't just be in a group setting. Whether it's a female or a male, he's just gonna just try to head bob and go crazy. So that's the main reason why you don't want to keep males together whatsoever, is because they do tend to head bob, and there is that potential that they are gonna fight. So I want to take Wilbur out before things start getting too stressful. But when it comes to Saturn and Polka, towards each other they're fine, but towards another bearded dragon, they just don't like him. Now, there's a pretty big difference between a male and a female bearded dragon when it comes to aggression. As you can see, Wilbur right now is displaying kind of a dark black beard. Most females are pretty chill as they get older. I find that male bearded dragons get more crazier, more dominant once they reach almost that 1 year mark, where females, once they hit that 1 year mark, they actually become more chill. Now, it really depends on how you interact with them. That would determine on, you know, how tame they're gonna get. But a male bearded dragon, because of their hormones and because they want to breed, most bearded dragons around that age, especially males, will get into that breeding state of mind. And, you know, males would be a little bit more aggressive by head bobbing, by trying to breed just random things. Like Wilbur over here, like there's videos of him trying to like breed my hand. Like it's kind of gross. Like he's literally trying to like breed anything. But for some reason, male bearded dragons, I find them to be a little bit more easier to care for. They're just a little bit, there's little tiny things that, you know, females, and I'm going to point it out in the other video, that female bearded dragons require for you to do, where a male bearded dragon is pretty straightforward. Yeah, they can be a little bit aggressive to, you know, or a little bit more dominant, like head bobbing and chasing themselves on the glass and things like that. But at the end of the day, you know, as you can see with Polka and Saturn, they can be just very docile and very chill, even when they're in the same room as another male bearded dragon. So it's kind of cool that each bearded dragon has their own personality. You know, at the end of the day, it's kind of a roll of a dice when it comes to it, because you won't know 100% until you actually owned it for a bit. And I feel like you really get their full personality once they hit that 1 year mark. You know, once they start developing certain patterns, it's kind of hard to break them. So if you have a bearded dragon that's an adult, that's about 1 year old, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to tame it down, versus when you had it as a baby. You could start developing, you know, good patterns and break bad patterns for them to be that ultimate best bearded dragon. But let me know in the comments sections down below if your bearded dragon or if your male bearded dragon is very similar to the ones that I have here. Do you find your male bearded dragons to be a little bit more dominant, as well as, you know, how is their feeding habits? Do you find that male bearded dragons, or if your male bearded dragon eats a lot less, is he more pickier? Because I've noticed my male bearded dragons are a little bit more pickier. They tend to eat less. They don't grow as big as the female bearded dragon would, because, you know, they just stay almost like a lean build to them. Of course, if you overfeed them, they might get a little bit overweight, but most, you know, breeder male bearded dragons just stay very lean. And I've noticed that with most reptiles, like ball pythons, geckos, like the females tend to be a little bit more bigger than the male, but it all really depends on the individual and how it eats. But Wilbur here, I'm surprised he's chill. Like, he's just chilling on my knee. Like, what are you doing, dude? But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below if you notice a difference between your male bearded dragon and my male bearded dragon. Do you guys notice that they eat a lot less, or do they eat more? I would love to know, because right now I do own quite a bit of bearded dragons, but, you know, I'm just going based off what I have. So it will be cool to see what other people say about their bearded dragons. But for now, that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This right here is Pocola. He's just acting very chill. Wilbur does not want anything to do with this video, so I'm gonna place him down so he's not looking at another male. But for now, that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm Lordy Lion. Keep the blood pumping, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Here we go. Peace.
You gotta hit that notification, hit that notification, hit that notification button, baby. You gotta hit that notification, hit that notification, hit